Welcome back to this T-Box Media coverage from the 2022 Taupo Classic. You're watching Back 9, Round 3, MPO coverage. With a couple of hot scores from the front 9. If you haven't watched the front 9, be sure to check the T-Box Media coverage and then come back and join us here on the Back 9. I'm Henry Pearson, joined in the booth by my good friend Jarrad Newton.
Yes, sir. At the beautiful Taupo disc golf course, and we have some hot scores. Mikey Yu with a 3 down on the front 9. He is absolutely in control right now. Not a flutter or a stutter. Connagh McKinstry with a pretty good +1, and the other lads, I'm sure there's a couple of holes that they'd want back, but plenty of golf left to come. And this hole number 10, I mean, honestly, today there was so much headwind. You were worried when you were standing on that tee box, weren't you, Henry?
Yeah, heck yeah. It was pretty strong winds and plenty of challenges to contend with on this hole. The entire right-hand side plays out of bounds. The left-hand side, where that the trees line the fairway, swiftly drops off down to a gully. So placement shot to lead yourself an upshot here is key.
This is the championship layout on this hole as well. So Mikey a little bit low out of the hand, but I'm sure he not happy with it, but at the same time there's nothing wrong with that. You're in the center of the fairway and an upshot to come. It's all about the second shot on this one. It's quite a narrow gap that you have to hit. Willie, nose down. I'm sure he'd want that shot again.
A particularly challenging tee shot, this one, really. The wind is whipping up from the valley behind the basket, and there's quite a significant amount of elevation from this tee block, which you can just see there on the catch cam. So angle control is particularly important, but the wind makes it difficult. Skyrider out of Ashton, that one a Simon Lizotte Signature Series disc from Discmania. S-Line PD. And a lovely shot with plenty of compliments from his card mates.
Willie was up, a little bit short, but safe. And I feel like safe is not a bad play here, honestly. Out of bounds comes into play very quickly. So left hand side is not out of bounds, however it is absolutely treacherous because there's a big drop off down there, and I mean, if you're not on the landing zone, you are in trouble. Left better than right. What's Ashton got for us? Yes sir, that is perfectly alright.
Smart play with a what might be a tactic, maybe a mutant, given the stability. And he'll be left with a good look for birdie 3. Connagh from the other side of the fairway, having to opt with a reasonably wide backhand that's going to swoop in at the end.
I got a bit lucky there. I think he's in bounds. He'd be happy with that. He's definitely in the circle.
Not by much though. He can't be any more than a metre or two in. He'll be counting his blessings for sure.
Some of those trees are very thick. And this is beautiful shot from Willie. Yes, mate. That's what you want to. That's what you want when you ride it up. Boys come to play in the back 9. I like the start. Everybody's in a good spot.
Connagh cashing it from just outside circle for his birdie 3, looks over to his card mate for confirmation that it did actually go in. And with a nod of the head from Ashton, he marks down a 3 on the scorecard.
Oh no, from Mikey. Rejected by the top band. And I don't know if you can see the river in the background, guys, but this is by far the most beautiful hole that I've ever played in my life. I would say it's the most beautiful hole in New Zealand. If you haven't been down to Spa Park in Taupo, what are you waiting for? It is absolutely stunning. That is the Waikato River in the background with a hot stream running into it. This is what Spa Park was named after, and it is absolutely stunning.
Hole
Leading
number
us
11.
in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hole number 11, it's a par 3, 75 metres. This one playing the easiest hole on the week. Almost half a stroke under par. It's, well, straight up the hill. Not a tremendous amount of difficulty to contend with. And the boys will be licking their chops in the hope of making a birdie 2.
That's right there. It's got to make a putt, but really, if you can get yourself inside the circle, this is one of the gettable holes. Everyone wants this one. And this is a line you don't see very often. In fact, I've never seen anyone play that line before.
Nor have I.
Right?
And not to criticise the champ, but perhaps it was an ambitious play up the hill. Well, I speak again.
No, we're being shown. Is this the pro line?
There's clearly some sort of...
I thought it was straight at the bucket. Just park it. But, you know, maybe there's something I don't know.
Well, Jarrad, I was with you on that one until about 3 minutes ago, and now I'm questioning all sorts of things in my life, frankly, so...
Mikey with the money shot. That is gold.
They call him Flickmaster Mike for a reason. That one, a tap and 2. And Willie to round out the card. Crowned Eagle in hand. This main a signature series disc. Flippy mid-range.
That's a good roll. He didn't get jammed up in the trees. He actually has a circle's edge putt. So the boys are going to run this, I'm sure, because they really want it. And I wonder if we're going to see some magic. Oh. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not a bad run in the slightest. Willie now from the other side, arguably the better side to throw a long range putt at it.
Yes, sir.
And a lovely little nose up floaty bid. Golden hands. And a touch of class. That was a beaut.
Well deserved the replay there. Nose up. Looks like a Ruru. Not 100% sure. But I believe that Willie putts with a Ruru. So it looks like a Ruru from here. Oh, gang. That is great. Great golf from the card. Connagh to clean up his par, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Well, the boys have certainly showed us why this is the easiest hole on the course, and they sure made it look pretty easy, but with some good putts in the mix. Connagh might be licking his wounds a little bit just to have only missed that putt by millimetres, but we move on, and on to the 12th we go.
Yeah. I'd say the danger on this is really early left, right? There's nothing wrong with being right on this hole. You have a kilometre of space. It's just that if you are early left in that nonsense there is so much blackberry. We had a lost disc on our card, and it is not fun in there. So the boys, they really just want to throw, it's slightly uphill, they want to throw a bit of a flip up hyzer, but you want it to finish left, and you want to be aiming right at that fella in his high vis vest.
Oh.
And that is in the circle. Nothing wrong with that.
Mikey now. This is a forehand, which is a really strange line.
Never seen a forehand on this before. Interested to see how it goes. That's a flippy disc.
And he'll have to play this one probably for par.
Yeah, there
Might
is.
be
It's straight down the middle. If I hit the middle, yeah.
blocked off from an attempt at a long-range putt by one of those guardian trees. Willie now with a driver, probably a kahu, maybe a katara.
Oh, that sounded like solid wood. That's circle 2, probably about 20 metres, 22 metres from the pin. And that is wide from Connagh.
Probably hit the back tree.
He's going to get a skip.
Shot.
A very nice line, a little bit short, but the champ likes those putts, I tell you. He's good from long range.
That's the distance you feel comfortable at, eh? Inside the circle can be a little bit nervy sometimes. Outside the circle you can give it a run and you don't feel bad if you miss it.
Gives you a chance to put a little bit of extra oomph behind it and not worry about slipping forward of your marker. As Willie lays up and will no doubt make a 3.
Sounded like he got an early leaf. Might have just taken a bit of power out of it.
Mikey looking to get in a little bit of extra fitness on the round with a few squats. And it's worked out for him. He's going to tap in for his 3.
And Connagh taking his time on this one. Bit of a crosswind. Just smashed it down right at the end.
Ashton here has opted for the lunge, joining Mikey on the
Ashton.
Sunday Fitness Challenge.
That is beautiful putt.
And a marvellous 2. He has collected a turkey and started to turn around his round.
Very impressive, Ashton. Had a tough start. That's how you do it.
Well,
Managed to fight himself back.
Mikey leads us at 3 under, and there is starting to be some strong contention in second place. And with putts like this, Ashton making his mark on the tournament midway through round 3. We'll move on to hole number 13.
Hole number 13, my favourite number. Not my favourite hole on this course, however. This is a tough hole, man. I mean, honestly, if you don't have serious power, you are struggling. You're either going inside this tree or outside of this tree, forehand or backhand. I have seen a couple of rollers do okay on this hole. To be honest with you, is the best play I've seen. We're going to have to wait and see what the pro card's got for us. There is a play outside as well, but you literally need 500 foot of power. So, who's got it? Let's see what Ashton's got.
Yeah. Shot, bro.
A big skip. That is beautiful.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
As you can see, still short. He can run it because it is an uphill putt, but very hard to get in inside circle on this hole. Mikey with absolutely elite forehand power for New Zealand Tour. That is very impressive.
Willie now following the wide backhand line. This really can't emphasise enough as an absolute crush to get it all the way up there. It's probably playing 8 or 10 metres uphill in elevation. And we are going to see 3 from 3 play out wide.
I must say I've never seen this line before, so quite impressed to see it. And the boys are getting up over the hill, which is great. So even where Connagh is, I mean, it's a pretty easy 3. It's just a difficult 2 would be the way I would describe this hole. And that's parked by Connagh. Absolute tapping.
couple of long range bids here for the boys. Ashton from maybe edge of circle 2. And he did give it a good nudge, but an easy 3 nevertheless. Mikey, similar distance.
Good run.
Didn't put it flat.
Willie with the CTP and Aruru in hand from 12. Oi.
He had his concentrating face on.
And it had the height, I tell you.
You can tell he wanted that one. I tell you what, if you're getting a birdie on this, that is strokes on, folks. Absolutely. This is, I'd say this hole would probably play pretty close to par for most fields. Is that right, Henry?
Well, you're not wrong, Jarrad. This one playing the hardest hole on the back 9, but pretty close to par. Only 0.11.
Yeah.
Over par, 3.1 average. But no birdies, interestingly enough, on the day.
This would be one of the harder birdies. I mean, even those woodsy holes, you can get lucky. This one, you need elite power, honestly, or a lucky second shot, like a throw-in from circle 2, circle 3. So we're going to come into hole 14, and this is one of the new holes on the course. It's not completely new, but this is a new raised basket, Henry. It's just made this hole a lot harder. How did you find this one, mate?
Well, it was a surprise really to come here and see the basket towering above my head. And you know, at 6'2", that's not happening all that often, I tell you. But
Yeah.
this hole used to play reasonably straightforward. It's clearly very open and attackable, but
If you're not parked, you're in trouble. And okay.
any putt sort of outside 4 or 5 metres is one that's going to make you stop and think. Mikey, would you believe it? He's got forehand off the tee.
It's there. And that is looking hot.
Great shot. For a guy like Mikey, who's certainly a pro, that one won't be too challenging of a tap-in, but I suppose for some of us other amateur players, we were certainly finding that distance on this hole to be a bit of a knee knocker. Willie starts it wide on a nice angle, but he's had too much for breakfast, and that one pushes long to edge of circle 2.
Just got a big skip. It's really a full smash on a fairway driver, is what I found on this one. Depending on the wind, you don't want to be throwing anything long distance. And that is a good kick. And that's the right side of the basket to be honest with you. I mean, the other side is an absolute pucker. I was not feeling confident on this hole either time I played it throughout the competition. So Ashton made that look easy. Great upshot.
Nifty little up from Willie. He'll secure his 3. Connagh now from the low side of the green up to an elevated basket and hits about every chain he can,
God, that's disappointing.
but not enough. Mikey now to extend his lead even further. This for a birdie 2.
Bit of the pro move there that you didn't see by the score at the bottom, but didn't like the angle and chose to take his full 150mm A4 page away from the mini marker. So, trick for young players there. You don't have to take your first place. You can absolutely play within the rules and make sure you're comfortable before you putt. So Mikey, with a bit of experience there on the card, I believe he definitely has been playing longer than the rest of these boys and is starting to show what a solid head might do with a commanding lead. Remembering that he didn't start the day in the lead today, and he is absolutely crushing it right now. Very impressive from Mikey. And that'll lead us into hole 15. Mando on the right there. I mean, it's a solid hyzer. You just, sorry, Mando on the left, not on the right. You just want to throw around that inside left tree. It's not very far, 86 meters. You can see the white M on the left tree there, and you want a bit of ground action. It is a tough green though. Inside 10 meters is not necessarily safe, so you want to have a little bit of a skip up and just try and get a little bit short if you can, even, because where Ashton is right now is it's a tough shot.
Willie with what I think will be an RPM called Tuku Tuku in hand, but lucky to not surpass the Mando on the wrong side, and Connagh with a really wide line looking for a big skip, and he's got it.
That's fine by Connagh. That's a great shot.
Nifty little line there to try and
I actually
push it
haven't seen
aside.
that play before.
Mm.
Super stable disc, and it's probably quite safe because you're never in doubt of the Mando.
That one, an unforced error from Willie. He's
Left himself probably a 12 meter putt. There's a wide rim driver by the looks of it with Ashton. Oh wow, isn't that special?
sit there. Oh,
Okay, I was about to question his disc choice, but just shows he knows his bag better than I do. That is amazing.
Mikey now looking to snag another birdie and push his lead even further. Fortunately, he's been getting stuck into the yoga to assume that position.
There looked like there to be a tree right in his line, and he didn't know whether to go above it or below it.
And on what is generally a reasonably straightforward hole, we've only seen one birdie amongst the group. Connagh cleans up for his two, and Mikey, who was looking for a birdie, has now turned it into a bogey after missing the comebacker.
And it's that easy, folks.
Yeah, man.
So just as we said, Mikey might be looking to extend his lead. It has tightened up a little further. He moves back now to 3 down, and well, the boys chasing him at 1 down. He's got a 4-stroke lead and looking to keep it that way going into our last couple of holes.
Commentator's curse there, eh? Hole 16, and I bet Mikey loves this hole. If you're a forehand player, 16 is your money for jam. I mean, honestly, if you land anywhere around that area that the camera just turned the corner, you're up for a 60-70 meter up shot. Probably don't want to throw anything too much with a wide rim. Fairway driver at most, because the rough is evil. So stay out in the open and you're happy. Connagh with a backhand predominant player. Not sure if he was going for the roller there. It's a bit of an in-betweener. But you know what? He has all the distance from out there, and he actually has a clean look at the basket. It's actually nothing wrong with being far and left.
Ashton with a forehand. Don't see too many distance forehands from Ashton off the tee. It's really got to push that corner, and a nice little roll into the middle of the fairway
Yeah.
with the Skyrider S-Line PD.
No reaction from anyone. Yeah.
Flickmaster Mike steps up. And he loves throwing destroyers by the sounds of it, so there's every possibility that this will be one of them.
Team Innova. This will be a strike, I think. And it seems to be Mikey's favourite driver.
That's the way.
And he's definitely an Innova player. Forehand out of Willie as well. Haven't seen too many forehands out of the hand off the tee box today from Willie. This may even be his first, so him and Ashton diversifying.
Get over.
And I mean, that's a great shot from Connagh, honestly. Great backhand. It's a tough backhand from back there. He's got himself just circle's edge, maybe a little bit obstructed. And Willie, deep left. It's actually quite tough from there. You want to be early than deep. Boys giving themselves a little bit of cabbage to get through before they can have the clear putt at the pin.
And that one looks a little bit sharper. Mikey with a great upshot. He'll have the only look really out of the group for a birdie 3. As Ashton straddles out. Oh, I almost spoke too soon. That had the line. It almost had the height.
Ashton.
Just needed the length.
Yeah, mate. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Good out from Willie. Safe par.
Oh. He almost had 2 out of 3 as well. He certainly had the height, not quite the line, and definitely the length. So Mikey with a 3, that's a goodie, and he'll extend his lead again. I can say it this time with confidence.
Mate, I mean, a little hiccup on the last hole, and he just comes straight back. So this is a great hole for Mikey. I mean, I reckon this would be Mikey's favourite hole on the whole course. What do you reckon, Henry?
Fair enough. I mean, it sets up so well for his
Why wouldn't
record
you?
forehand, and an easy birdie for him. Birdies for Mikey, but this one played as the second easiest hole on the weekend, 0.56 strokes under par. So Mikey collects a birdie along with Andy Davey, Francis Orange, Philippe Scheisel and Vinnie Wilson. On to hole 17. Par 3, it's 100 metres. Only real challenge on this hole is this tree, only 10-15 metres off the tee. It's a low ceiling, and once you're through the low ceiling it opens up and you'll hopefully leave yourself with a look from at least circle 2. This one will be attackable. The boys will be looking to make a 2 if not a 3. Mikey leads off, forehand in hand.
Yes, Mikey, great shot. That's beautiful. Bend those knees on commit. That low ceiling is lower than you think. The camera does not do it justice. It feels like you're throwing through a doorway.
In the basket.
Oh, yes, Connagh.
So the boys are teeing off from a slightly elevated tee block. It's about a metre or 2 up above the ground in front of the tee block, so it does make that low ceiling particularly low, and well, reason enough for certain players to opt for this very, very wide line, as we saw from Ashton.
Looked like Ashton got over on that. Didn't quite see it land. Yes, Willie. A little bit stable maybe. Should have thrown a Tory, mate. Would have been perfect. Yeah, that's a great upshot. Well done, Ashton. Willie has the low ceiling to contend with, so he's going to give it a run. And why not? Give it a bid, eh?
Mikey from just outside circle 2, cashed. Count it, he's had a couple of birdies now in a row
That's a great putt from Mikey.
and is looking to put together a pretty tidy round, frankly.
He's looking quite solid at the moment. He knew it out of the hand too. He said get it, and it got it.
So Mikey started the day at +1 and is Now sitting at -5 for the tournament, meaning that on today's round alone he's 6 down, still with a hole to play. And Connagh joins Mikey with a 2 on the 17th, while Ashton and Willie look to tidy up a par.
Great form from Ashton. Took his time. Probably about 6 metres. Not the longest putt you've ever seen, but not one you want to miss. And excellent concentration, mate. So boys all cleaning up. And I tell you what, this is a trickier hole than what it looks like. Which is going to lead us into 18, which is definitely a trickier hole than what it looks. Or maybe not. But early right is a massive gully down into what seems like some kind of wastewater system, right? So you just do not want to be early right. If you can make the gap that the camera just made, that is perfect. This basket placement is not the placement. We are on championship placement today, and we are all the way back here. So your second shot, it's all about your second shot. You can go far left around the trees, but most people are going to go yeah, most people are going to go right hand side. Just go straight up that gap and then bit of a hyzer into the basket. And Mikey just pipes one down the middle. Wow. Wow, that is special.
That's probably one of the best drives I've ever seen on this hole.
Yeah.
It's in such a good spot to attack the green.
It is a low ceiling the whole way and a bit of a window. And wow, from Connagh. I mean, you can see where the pole is for the original basket placement. I mean, that'd just about be running for ace. So the boys are lacing a couple down the middle, putting the pressure on. Ashton's happy with them. That's all he was going for, he says.
And an interesting comparison there between Ashton's backhand and Mikey's forehand. Mikey's obviously getting that little skip up and towards the right, leaving him with a better angle to approach this green. Whereas the backhand just digs that little too much, as we see Willie knock a tree, but he'll still have a line, as you can see, up to the basket, just a bit further back than he'd like.
Not sure that maybe been a P walker or a pecker. The late flip there. So this isn't a bad place to be. He actually has a clear line to the basket. Although it feels like you're a mile away, it does have the low ceiling to contend with. So just that 10 metres ahead, and Ashton doesn't have that low ceiling anymore. So he's in a much more attackable place. It's like a mid-range in the hand. He's going to get just inside the basket. Great up. He's got a putt. Looks like just inside the circle.
Willie now with a Kia approach from 45, 50 metres out. Plenty of room out there on the left hand side to approach the green, and a nice little Midas touch to leave a tap in for 4. And Mikey in an even better spot than Willie, but here only in 1. So with a good approach, Mikey could seal 3 birdies on the trot to finish the round, and a commanding lead going into day 4.
And Mikey, absolutely cash. I mean, if you're going to finish with a turkey, mate, that is a brilliant way to do it. Don't even have to putt. Absolutely on the pole. And another one off the pole. Boys are bringing it home for the final hole. That is beautiful golf.
Let's not forget there, Connagh, scorecard on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. He's had 4 birdies on the back 9 and moved into second place going into round 4. So a great outing from him on Day 3. Ashton to tidy up. And Connagh will tap in his 3.
Boys are going to clean up. And this has been some hot golf. Connagh with an excellent back 9 has brought him back under par from quite a challenging front 9, to be honest with you. And I tell you what, Willie and Ashton with a turkey there as well. And that is a beautiful way to end your round with a turkey. Shaking the hand of the tournament director there, Haydn. And we're going to wrap up the scores here. Not a bad finish from the whole card, if you ask me, Henry.
Yeah, you said it, Jarrad. Final summary on the scores for the round. Mikey and Connagh finished their back 9s with 4 under, and well, Mikey put 2 good 9s together to shoot 7 down. The hot round of the day, and he goes into round 4 with a commanding lead. A beautiful day in Taupo and a marvellous showing at Spa Park. And Jarrad, what a pleasure to join you in the commentary booth to call the shots as they came on this round 3 coverage.
Yes, mate. I had a great time. And congratulations to the whole cart for an amazing showing and showing off this beautiful part of New Zealand. And you'll see some next round footage at the golf course at Taupo coming up soon. And you have some hot golf coming up for that. Final round coming up next.
You betcha. T-Box Media, thanks so much. Be sure to like and subscribe and join us for round 4 coverage at the Taupo Classic. We'll see you when we see you.